Next, we're going to look at the quotient rule. So looking at how we expand, similar to what we've seen in the past, 5 to the 6, just we have 6 5s there. 5 cubed, we have 3 5s there. And then we have 5 to the 6 over 5 cubed. So we expanded on top, and we expanded on the bottom. And then our simplified says the final solution, or the simplified version there is 5 to the 3rd power. The reason is we can start to cancel out 5s on the top and bottom until we can no longer cancel out. And we're left with just 5 times 5 times 5 here. Okay, so this looks like an S. I'll clear that up. So 5 times 5 times 5 is equivalent just to 5 cubed. All right, so in our quotient rule, when we are dividing numbers that have the same base, very similar to the product, we keep the base the same, but instead of adding the exponents, we subtract them. So if we look at 5 to the 6th over 5 cubed, 6 minus 3 would give us 3 there. So very similar to the product rule, but we are subtracting the exponents instead of adding them. Okay, if there are coefficients, divide them. All right, so let's look at, we'll go through these top examples here in the practice. So first off, 5 to the 4th over 5, which is just a 1 right there. So 4 minus 1 will just give us 5 cubed, and that's our simplified answer. Whoops, 5 to the 3rd power. We're going to leave it as that. Next one, 2 squared over 2 to the 3rd. So 2 minus 3 is going to give us -1. And in a later lesson, we'll discuss actually what negative exponents mean. For now, we can just leave it as 2 to the -1. Next one, 2n squared over n to the 1st. Subtract 2 and the 1. That just gives us 2n to the 1. Anytime you have that exponent of 1, we don't actually have to write it, so we can just leave our answer as 2 to the n. Here, we do have coefficients, 3 and 3. So we would divide those. 3 divided by 3 just gives us 1. And then n to the 4th over n squared, 4 minus 2 will just give us 2. And again, we can leave the coefficient of 1, or you can just write your final answer as n squared. All right, similar here, ax to the 5th over 2x to the 5th. That is going to be 4 when we do 8 divided by 2. And then x to the 0, and we'll discuss actually what 0 exponents mean as well later on, but for now we'll just leave it as 4x to the 0. All right, and then the last one, 8 and 4 are the coefficients, so 8 divided by 4 is 2. For the a's, we have 1 and 1, so 1 minus 1 is 0. Again, we'll discuss what that means later on. And then b3 over b2 becomes b to the 1, and we can just leave that as b without the exponent.